I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Until Death. Spoiler alert, let's just get it. So we start off with Emma just driving, played by Megan Fox, and we get a flashback with her meeting up with this dude named Tom. She's like, look, Tom, this shit ain't gonna work out. This is gonna be my last time seeing you. So we like, why ain't trying to see this nigga no more? The problem is she's already married to this dude named Mark, and she out here doing her dirt, and it's supposed to be her anniversary tomorrow. So right out the back, she got side niggas. So then she's going back to work. She gets flowers from this receptionist from her husband Mark, and then some confidential papers hit her desk. So this dude by the name of Bobby Ray a while ago attempted armed robbery, ended up stabbing her in the back with a knife. But this is from a while ago, so I'm thinking to myself, why is she getting these papers now? And then here comes her husband Mark. And throughout the movie, she is seriously depressed all the time. Like, this is one of the rare times you actually see a smile on her face. But trust me, there's good reason for all that. So as they're heading on down the elevator, here comes the dude Tom getting on the elevator. And apparently he also works with Mark too. You smashing off of niggas that work in the same building with you? What the heck is going on? So Mark introduced them like they don't know each other, and then he goes on about his business. Then they head on out to dinner, and it's their 11th year anniversary. Yeah, they've been together for 11 years. So they exchange gifts. Emma gives Mark her gift first, and she gives her Super Bowl tickets. And then we hear the greatest line in the entire movie.
Steelers would be in it.
No chance. They suck this year. I'm like 4-12.
That's right, Raven Nation. You might want to see no trash ass, piss towel waving ass bitches. You already don't talk about them damn Steelers. Well, anyway, his gift to her was a diamond necklace. But she didn't really seem cheerful about anything throughout the entire movie, which I'll explain later. Then she congratulates this one chick in the bathroom because she just got proposed to by some dude that's like 3 times her age, but whatever. But then as they left the restaurant, he left the Super Bowl tickets there. Now who in the fuck would leave Super Bowl tickets on the goddamn restaurant? You know you ain't... That's not some shit you just forget, you know what I'm saying? That already sets the tone for some fuckery right there. So he tells her to check her pockets and she pulls out a blindfold. And he wants her to put it on because he's going to surprise her. They end up driving out to this cabin or lake house. He wants to rekindle the flame they once had because their relationship has been real rocky for the last couple years. And I guess this place brings back great memories for them. So as she's blindfolded in the house, Mark is getting stuff ready for her. He's got rose petals all around and whatnot. He puts out little cards saying he loves her with all his heart and all that stuff. And there's a bunch of rose petals and candles sprinkled all around. Then she goes in his picture room. And there's pictures of their wedding day. Them chilling together, all these happy memories and stuff. Then she turns on the recorder and plays her anniversary song. Which startled her at first because it came on so damn loud. So she's got it playing as she heads upstairs with rose petals straight to the room. And there he is just waiting on her with wine in hand. Then he says, I know 11 years is not going to make up for all the things I've done, but let me just try to do this one thing right. Then they get that kiss in, and then it's down there giving the business. Next morning, we come in to see her lying in bed, but Mark is already sitting up. He's been sitting up for a while now. Then she wakes up and sees one of her arms handcuffed. The thing is, she's handcuffed to him. So she's like, okay, Mark, what the fuck is going on? Hey, Mark, you listening to me? Then he tells her it's time to wake up. Then also he puts a gun to his head and blows half his fucking head off. Done deal did his shit. What all the people? The thing is, she wasn't even really spazzing out like that. She was more so pissed off that she's chained to him. So now I'm thinking to myself, what the hell's the story here with her? She picks up the gun, tries to shoot the chain off, but no good. Apparently, he only had one bullet in the chamber to begin with. So she drags him into the closet, but the only thing there is a wedding dress. And she notices behind the wedding dress is a safe. So she puts him on the wedding dress so he can drag him down the steps. Yeah, nothing graceful about that shit, but what do you expect? She's chained to somebody trying to go down the fucking steps. Yeah, the door was wide open, she's just there admiring the fucking snow. And this is literally the first time she's cracked a smile the entire movie. Yeah, you can tell something about her is off. But then again, what do you expect? So she goes to the kitchen, digging through her purse, and finds her phone in the fucking vase. Yeah, it's wet, it's done deal, that shit ain't working. Yeah, exactly. Then she goes through all the cupboards in the kitchen and finds out they're all completely empty. She goes to a trash bin with nothing but rose petals in it, but happens to find some keys in there. So she's dragging them outside to get to the shed, and happens to be keys to this car that's in there. She's trying to start the car, but it's not working. Come to find out, this nigga drained the fuel out the car. Yeah, he covered all his bases. Then all of a sudden this recorded message comes from Mark over the phone, over the radio. Basically saying he wanted to see her suffer, but too bad he couldn't live around for it. He knew about her and Tom and all this shit. My thing is, if you knew about this, why kill yourself? Why don't you just kill her ass? I don't know, that nigga was wildin'. So then she drags him back to the house. She tries to take the necklace off, but that shit's stuck rock solid. You'll probably need a chainsaw to pry that shit off. Then she goes down to the basement looking for anything to pry her out of this misery. She goes down there, but ain't shit down there. I mean nothing. Literally, this entire house has been cleaned out of anything. Now I'm thinking to myself at this point, because she had possibly used the keys to probably try to pry her out of handcuffs or something, but she never attempts to do that. But then as she's talking to herself, we find out that her husband's been cheating on her multiple times, which is probably the reason why she was fucking with Tom in the first place. But trust me, that's going to be the least of her worries at this point. So as she drags him back up the steps, she goes back into the picture room to see if she can find anything there. And we find out the pictures are totally changed. They got her crossed out in one. It's got her crossed out with all the pictures of Mark, but all the pictures of her and Tom are there. It's got the picture of her hanging up after the attempted robbery years ago, I guess. In the far off corner is a picture of Bobby Ray. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, why does he only have one eye? Alright, so in the attempted robbery when Bobby stabbed her in the back, she had keys in her hand and reached out and stabbed him in his eye. Now in this room last night, it was just a record player, but now she sees a cassette player next to it. And it plays this tape about a confession of what happened with the armed robbery. Now Mark at the time was actually her attorney, and they were basically going over the events of everything that happened. But before it could finish, she smashed that shit. But after spazzing out all of a sudden, she heard a car outside being parked. They're like, who the fuck is that? Turns out it's Tom. Now we're thinking to ourselves, what the fuck is he doing up here? Now he thought he got a message from Emma, but it turns out Mark was the one that sent her the message. Emma told him trying to call the police. Tom like, get the fuck out of here. Like, look at this situation. Then they see another truck outside. He's like, what the fuck? Now Tom said he seen his truck pass by a while ago. So here comes this guy named Jimmy. Jimmy tells Tom he's there to fix some pipes or something like that, but Tom's like, nah, you gotta come back another time, dog. He's like, look, man, I was paid $200 to do a job. He gives him $250. He's like, all right, man, go ahead about your business, man. But even afterwards, he's very persistent about getting in. He's like, I gotta use the bathroom or something. But then Tom calls him out on this bullshit. He's like, look, man, you got Indiana plates in your car. You telling me you came all the way up here to Boston just to fix some pipes? Then another guy gets out the car and ends up stabbing Tom. Done deal dead as shit as Emma hides. That's when we find out this motherfucker is Bobby Ray. If she was able to see out the corner, she knows exactly who he is too. Then we find out they're here to do a job. They're here to get some diamonds, and they were there to kill Tommy and Emma. Turns out they were actually hired by Mark to do this. I'm like, oh shit. So as they go upstairs, she somehow sneaks out the house to go back to the shed, and she finds some type of hatchet to chop the chain off. Jimmy comes in there, but the only thing he sees is Mark's dead body. So the thing is, they didn't know Mark was actually dead. Emma was hiding in the boat, but when they lift up the sheets, Emma's gone. Obviously, she was able to unchain herself. Oh shit, she was hiding under him the whole time. They haven't found her yet, but they see fresh blood, so they know she's still around somewhere. So after they leave, she pulls off this hose off the boat. What for? Not exactly sure yet. So these guys go back in the house and find the safe. He's thinking to himself, is there any way to just blow it not without blowing everything else up inside? So they need the combination and the thumbprint. Probably Mark's, since he was the one that promised them the diamonds. We found out she attached this hose to a gas can, which apparently has gas in it. Oh, she gonna take that back to the car that's in the shed, I get it. Then she got play stiff in the snow for a minute while Jimmy comes back out, so he's gonna have to bring Mark up to the safe somehow. Meanwhile, Bobby comes back out probably looking for Emma, and she's starting to fill up the gas tank. But she don't get far along because this motherfucker Bobby pops up in the shed, and just in case if she is there, he puts a hole in the fucking tire. I know, Emma, this shit is crazy. Meanwhile, Jimmy's dragging Mark back into the house. Emma sneaks out and goes through the basement. She's trying to go up the steps, but Jimmy's dragging Mark through the door. And on the other side, Bobby's looking around in the basement. So you're thinking to yourself, she's pretty much fucked. But then all of a sudden, she sets off the car alarm, and they scatter towards back to the car to try to see if they can turn the alarm off. But they definitely know she's there, as she's clutching on to Tom's hand for like a brief moment. She digs through his pockets to see if she can find anything, but she basically takes his coat and his shoes. Then as Jimmy and Bobby are going back and forth, we get a little bit more insight. It turns out after the attempted robbery, Bobby was locked up in jail for about 10 years. So it's personal to him. He wants to kill Emma and make sure he gets those diamonds. And he wants to make it happen. And when Jimmy comes back in the house, he tells Bobby to look down and he sees Tom laying there with no shoes and no coat. Letting her know she's somewhere here in the house. Jimmy's downstairs searching in the picture room while Bobby's upstairs searching in the attic. He ain't find nothing but golf clubs, but then she comes out of nowhere and whacks him through the fucking floor with his ass. Smacked his ass with a golf club. Yeah, the tension builds up so much. It's like 20 minutes left in the movie, and it's the first interaction with each other. Jimmy goes to check on Bobby, and then guess what? She turns around from the back and whacks his ass too. Throws him in the motherfucking closet. And gets him stuck in there. Breaks the door and all that. Now she runs out there and tries to start her car up to get the hell out of there. And then a punch goes through the car. Now how the hell did Bobby get up that damn quick? Now Jimmy doesn't want anybody else to die, but Bobby's like, alright, enough of this shit, man. I'll kill you my goddamn self if you don't get this shit going. So then she wakes up back in the house again and chained up to Mark once again. So then Bobby's like, look, you either gonna give me the combination of this goddamn safe, or I'm gonna cut your toes off one by one. Then all of a sudden, Jimmy found Mark's gun underneath the bed, and he was like, look, Bobby, this is enough, man. Just get the combination. She leaves out alive, we done. You know what I'm saying? Bobby's like, look, man, don't you think she's gonna tell the cops after all this shit we done? You know what I'm saying? He's like, look, who you think the first people they're gonna come for looking for her dead body, right? And then on top of that, she got worried about her own dead body, her husband Mark. You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy's trying to speak some type of sense into Bobby. So she's like, cut me loose first, and I'll tell you the combination. They do that. He opens up the safe, but there's nothing in there but a saw, and it says, the diamonds you seek lay close to her heart. So he figured it out that diamonds are actually in the necklace. But Bobby's thinking to himself, man, I'd rather just cut this bitch's head off and take the whole thing myself. So Jimmy finds a toolbox. He gets some bolt cutters. He's trying to cut it off her neck, you know what I'm saying? But of course, the bolt cutters ain't working. While Jimmy's distracted, Bobby takes the gun out of his back pocket, gun butts him, and then he shoots her. But there's no more bullets left in the gun, as he didn't know. Jimmy jumps on Bobby's back. He's like, man, yo, cut this shit out, man. But when Bobby throws him off, he throws him on his back of his head, hits a hat rack. I'm like, oh shit. Jimmy's done deal dead as shit. And of course he blames it on Emma. Emma ends up getting stabbed in the back of her leg, but she ends up knocking him out with the bolt cutters. When he wakes up, he's the one that actually handcuffed to Mark now. She tries to escape, she gets out to the truck, and almost runs his ass over. Somehow she was swerving around, the car got stuck and it hit the fucking shed. Now she's trying to get away, her ankle's all fucked up. He's trying to get to her, but he's still chained up to Mark. While all this is going on, the ice is kind of cracking. They're on very thin ice. He gets to her for a minute, but then pulls the knife out the ground and gets stabbed. When he falls, the ice ends up cracking, and they all end up falling through. While they're all underwater, she takes the knife out of his chest and stabs him in his other eye. And with Mark chained to him, he's going to his death. Done deal, dead as this shit. How the ice closed up that quick? Now she's struggling to get out. Like, what the fuck? But then with a knife, she's able to poke a hole through the ice and get the fuck out alive. And the last thing you hear is police sirens in the background. A lot of calamity, a lot of mayhem. But why was the husband trying to kill her to begin with? Okay, so apparently over the years, he had a bunch of debts that hadn't been paid, and considering how much it was no way he was going to be able to pay all of them. So he felt like his life was going down the tubes anyway. And since he already knew about Emma and Tom, he was like, fuck it, if I can't live out the rest of my life, neither can she. So he was trying to kill two birds with one stone. And since he didn't have the heart to kill her, that's why he hired Jimmy and Bobby to finish out the job. So he literally planned out mostly all of this shit. I still wouldn't have killed myself, but it is what it is. Till Death on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Look, these are the best stars. Big, you got that slogan.